6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Red Velvet, Kevin Huerter, if you are Patrick Beverly. Seems like he's been unlocked once again. This is the Kevin Huerter that we wanted to see throughout last season. This is the Kevin Huerter that we've been wanting to see this season. Has he been unlocked coming off the bench? Kevin Huerter scored 61 points in 4 games off the bench, averaging 14.8 a game after only scoring 46 in the previous 7 games played. As we said before, I thought there was going to be an issue with the rhythm. I thought there was going to be an issue with the fit and what Kevin Huerter was going to be able to do. At the end of the day, this is what it is, man. Ballers are going to ball. And when you're put in a situation where your back is against the wall, Kevin Huerter has been a part of trade talks. He's been a part of bench conversation in the past. He has been the scapegoat in a lot of these conversations. He's been a part of every trade package that has been connected. And I'm sure he understands that he's got a nice tradable contract, but nobody wants to hear that. Just because you have it doesn't mean you don't want to hear it or you want to hear it. So Kevin Huerter and his ability to be flexible doesn't just say a lot about Kevin Huerter and his time on the Kings. It says a lot about Kevin Huerter as a player, period. Because we talk about positionless basketball. We talk about positionless baseball. And that's just not positionless as it pertains to the actual position. That's just that is not just as far as, hey, whether are you a forward, a guard, whatever it is. That also is about your ability to do what the team asks you to do. If Kevin Huerter if I'm in Kevin Huerter's camp and the whole idea is, yeah, he's a guy where he just needs to start. He needs to start because he needs his rhythm. He needs to get warmed up. And Kevin Huerter never said any of this. This was all just created based on, I guess, what shooters' tendencies are. And there were a couple notes from a couple times that he didn't start with the Hawks, and the numbers didn't look that great. It was still a small sample size. But positionless basketball is not just the ability to play different positions on the court. It's also the ability to say, hey, I can come off the bench and still produce. Hey, I can come off the bench and still help the team. Because that wasn't going to fly very long. What do you mean he's got to start? He's only good to you if you start. Again, Kevin Huerter never said any of this. None of this ever came out of Kevin Huerter's camp. This is all created. And what do you know? Kevin Huerter gets a full opportunity in a new role, and he's flourishing. Ballers ball. Ballers ball. Or they don't. And then you're looking at what's next in my career. So pressure burst pipes through it, makes diamonds. And right now, Kevin Huerter is turning into, what is it, a ruby? It wouldn't be a diamond because it's red. It would be a ruby. That's what's going on right now. Let's hear from Kevin Huerter and his post-game presser. Some great stuff, great questions being asked. And he says something that I really want to focus in on that I think gave us how we like to play this stuff, and then we like to go a little bit different and deeper into what they said and what they actually mean. Let's hear from Kevin Huerter, his full presser, a couple minutes here, and we'll dive into what stuck out to me. Here it is.
Kev, great game for you, season high in points, just the up and down nature of things. You've kind of had some signs that maybe it's coming for you. Like just how did it feel tonight? How has it felt lately? And how does that feel for you after kind of where you've been?
It's felt good. Felt good that the game after Portland, I feel like coming back from that, I felt pretty good since. And it's sometimes just a numbers game. It's going to come back. You got to trust it. Continue to put the work in every day, and just look at the rest of my career and trust it's going to come back at some point.
Obviously, those shots going down, but what other aspects of the little details do you feel like you've been emphasizing and doing well recently?
Just trying to play hard, honestly. Just trying to fly around defensively, just being solid. Be in rotations and finish with a rebound, playing fast, just doing all the things our coaches are preaching every day, but just trying to play with energy and being good on the defense side of the ball.
Kevin, how difficult has the transition to coming off the bench been for you? And it sure does feel like out of nowhere you're settling into that role.
It's been good. It's been good. It's been consistent. Right now I know when I'm going into the game. I know when I'm coming out of the game. And there's a lot of different groups that I'm playing with over the course of that. But, it's so far in the last 4 games that it's happened, it's been 12 straight minutes in both halves. And so far, so good. So it's, for me, it wasn't about starting, non-starting. It's just, I think when I'm on the court, I can help this team. And if I'm playing how I think I'm capable of playing, and I know that's, you see games like tonight, and just got to continue to build on it.
That was Kevin Huerter. And the thing that he mentioned that I want to focus in on is it's been consistent, right? It's been consistent. And it has never been about starting or not starting for Kevin Huerter. When we talk about the rhythm, not that the rhythm wasn't a real thing, but I think the whole rhythm conversation goes more into the consistency conversation. Literally the same thing we talk about for Malik Monk, the same argument for Malik Monk coming off of the bench or not starting is the same argument that it should be for Kevin Huerter not starting as well. It's not about, hey, is he starting, not starting to get his rhythm? It's about the consistency. He played 22 minutes, obviously, because of the blowout, but he said about 24 minutes each game, 12 a half. I know what my role is. Before this, what was Kevin Huerter's role? He's playing with the starters. He's supposed to stretch the floor, so he's got to take shots. But at the same time, you got to get De'Aaron Fox going. You got to get Domantas Sabonis going. We know that a lot of times Domantas Sabonis gets rocking and rolling early. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan needs his touches. Keegan Murray is the top prospect, right? The young gun that you want him to get his shots to. So Kevin Huerter is just looking around thinking, when am I supposed to shoot? And I think that's another thing with this flow offense. Having a flow offense as you are continuing to change the team make things difficult because of the hierarchy and the priority list. Anybody that's ever hooped, if you're hooping with a dude who played at a D2 or a D1, yeah, any shot that you take feels like a bad shot. So I'm wide open, but I'm going to try to get it to the 6'4" dude that, is about to go to UW, because I feel like him taking a contested shot is better than me taking an open shot. And that's probably not correct. But Kevin Huerter was stuck between DeMar DeRozan's got to get going. De'Aaron Fox is the leader of the team. He's the number one option. Domantas Sabonis, he's got to get his. Keegan Murray, he's the young star on the team. We got to get him going. And Kevin's just looking around thinking, what am I supposed to do here? You guys want me to rebound and I'm supposed to take shots? Am I supposed to take a shot here? What's the deal? What am I supposed to do? Now Kevin Huerter comes in. He said he's been playing with a lot of different groups and it doesn't matter. Kevin, shoot when you're open. Kevin, you're in a lineup where you are the number 2 option, the number 3 option, whatever it is. Maybe the number 1 option, depending on that night. Last night he was. Just these are the things you have to do, Kevin. And I feel like there weren't enough of those conversations. Not to say that they weren't had, but this is the transition that we've been talking about. We continue to bring up how things are going to change throughout the season, but you never know what it looks like. When we sat here in August, and we sat here in September, and we sat here beginning of October, getting ready for the season, we knew, hey, there are going to be some growing pains. There's going to be a transition. We had no clue what it would look like. No clue what it would look like. We didn't know if the starting lineup would change. We didn't know if certain people would come off the bench. We didn't know if certain guys would get moved. We did not know. So this thing it's a living, breathing thing. It's like a plant. It's like a succulent. You got to water it. You got to give it, I don't know. I think succulents actually don't need sunlight, but you got to water it, or a plant. You got to water it, give it sunlight. You got to nurture it. And we just thought we were going to roll the ball out and figure this thing out. Now, you have to understand what works and what doesn't work. If that plant is in an area of your house that doesn't get enough sunlight, you got to move the plant. And I think these first 20 games or so didn't really want to move the plan, right? We think something is going to work a specific way, so we're going to keep doing it that way. It turns out that wasn't the case. You had to move the plan. Upstairs, there's more sunlight. The sunlight is Kevin Huerter coming off the bench. Upstairs, more sunlight. Malik Monk starting. So you understand things are changing, but you have to understand that change. Mike Brown is understanding that change. The guys, the team is understanding that change. The players, the fans, the media, everybody. So this thing still isn't done. Maybe Kevin Huerter is a starter by the end of the season. I don't know. But as of right now, Kevin Huerter coming off the bench and Malik Monk starting has unlocked a new version of this offense that we haven't seen. And this was great. Obviously, they pull the guys with about 8 minutes left in the game. Domantas Sabonis only 28 points last night. DeMar DeRozan only 28 minutes last night. DeMar DeRozan 29 minutes. Keegan Murray 25 minutes. De'Aaron Fox 31 minutes. Malik Monk 27 minutes. And then you had Kevin Huerter with 22. And Kobe Jones 20 minutes. Mike Brown talked about the foul trouble that Keegan got in. And Kobe Jones, a lot of people, hey, why is Kobe Jones getting minutes? He's just gonna play hard, and maybe he's some version of a Trey Lyles type. Not that they play the same position, but just he's getting those minutes while Trey Lyles is out. Kobe, just play hard and do what you can. He reminds me of that guy who plays varsity as a sophomore or junior, and when you watch him, you think, I'm not really sure why he's on varsity, but then you talk to a coach and you kind of learn the game a bit more, and you see him diving for loose balls. You see him doing all the little things, being in the right spots. He's not going to blow you out of the water offensively. He's not going to sit there and light up the nets, but he's going to give his all every single possession. He's going to be in the right place. He's going to have a high basketball IQ. And that's what you need. That's the type of guy that's going to get you through the regular season. You're not going to be tapping on Kobe Jones in the playoffs or the play-in, but we just want to talk about playoffs here. You're not going to be tapping on Kobe Jones for that. But in an 82-game season, Keegan gets in trouble. Trey Lyles is injured. What else can we do? Now, yeah, for whatever reason, some of the guys, Jay Crowder, DNP, okay, some of the younger guys that have been playing didn't get time. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Things are going to continue. Orlando Robinson, 2 minutes. That bench is going to look completely different every single night, and some people might not be okay with that. I understand, but you're going to live with it if you're getting W's, right? And when you're not getting W's, that's when we ask questions. That's when Mike Brown seems to want to have some answers as well. But Kevin Huerter coming off the bench has been just a delight, to be completely honest. And I just think is a testament to just what this league is and how you have to stay ready in whatever capacity, right? I feel like he almost has a bigger sense of responsibility now, but it's a more direct and clear responsibility. While he was starting, he was just kind of floating. Should I grab a rebound here? Now Keegan's grabbing a bunch of rebounds. I got a couple deflections. What do I do? Now he knows. Now, again, facts change, opinions change. Maybe this isn't how it ultimately ends, and Kevin Huerter does end up starting it. I don't know. But what I do know is that they're winning basketball games. They've won 3 out of the last 4, and that's what matters right now. You have to win basketball games any way you can. We talked about Kevin Huerter coming off the bench, and now let's talk about Malik Monk starting. Can't talk about it enough. Some of the assist numbers that we have for you are mind-boggling. Let's get to it on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.